Okay, so I am paused right now and going back to the game um, to show where I began. My initial difficulties with navigating Minecraft had to go with understanding that the mouse really wasn't going to move me where I wanted to go. So I spent a lot of my first minutes very frustrated, wanting to use some choice words and trying to understand how to move around. Working with kids in a tutoring situation, I've seen them fly through Minecraft without any difficulties. And it was confusing to me as to why they could understand, but I couldn't quite understand. So, what I'm doing right now is kind of mimicking my movements. I went through and hit every key on the keyboard to try to find my directions. And it took me a long time to get to the part where I understood W and space bar to jump. I was almost on the verge of tears trying to kind of figure out how am I going to move through this world. So once I kind of figured out that I could point to the direction that I wanted to move using the arrow and then kind of moving down, I kind of got the hang of it. Right now, I'm kind of flying. And so just kind of getting my bearings in the world was something that was pretty difficult for me. And I had a little bit of motion sickness in the process. So my next big challenge came when I exited out and I watched some of the tutorials and took lots of notes and tried to figure out how in the world am I going to um, open up an information kind of tab. And so I actually took some verge of tears and contacting with Paul to figure out that the videos I was watching didn't necessarily have to do with the complete Mac directions. And so using the command key was pretty much the big deal that I needed. So when it came to just walking and exploring, I had some interesting thoughts. Um, I think that using Minecraft in science as an assessment tool could be pretty positive with the building capabilities of having them build environments and ecosystems that would suit a particular animal, and then having something come in or maybe going in overnight and then destroying something and seeing how would they go about fixing it and building a more sustainable environment. Um, I really enjoyed the video of watching the building of a cell that happened in one of the Mind Chat videos, trying to get students to understand that they are at a microscopic level and building everything else up. I think it can be very engaging. I'm just concerned because it took me 3 days to get through the process of being able to just open things and move about. So creating something that massive would be kind of a concern to me just for the fact that it is something that does not come naturally to me. I'm not a gamer by any stretch. And video games in general, I find my hand-eye coordination doesn't translate into this world. So those are kind of my initial thoughts about how it could be used as an assessment tool, especially for the creativity aspect. Um, I think there are lots of options in science, especially I liked visiting Paul's world. So let's see if I can get, no, to the menu. And I found the menu button rather quickly. And I was clicking through and it's like, oh, well, I know that we're supposed to build in Minecraft. So maybe I should change a particular transport or be allow myself to, long distance building or go into building mode. And I actually ended up destroying something in someone else's world. But what I liked about going to Paul's Chasm is the challenge for building, and that really does kind of connect to a lot of the STEAM and STEM projects that are now a big push in science to get students to understand spatial reasoning and building kind of without using using so many materials. So I like that idea of trying to have kids build in Minecraft and setting up these challenges that could be a little bit quicker and not require so much of the physical setup. I mean, building the world would take quite some time and I would have to get a lot more comfortable with it. But I think that there are a lot of positive things. It's just an overwhelming sensation when I've never done anything quite like this before. I remember my excitement. I came to Paul's World right here, and for the first time, I got to open something. Let's see if I can do it again. Probably not because I'm been out of practice. But the idea that you can open up and collect things, clicking my multiple buttons because it worked one time and now I can't open the chest. But just being able to kind of work through things and problem solve, and knowing that kids are more digital natives, much more so than myself, and are probably much more comfortable with this type of challenge. It would really get them engaged in a way where I could see their thinking without the initial use of such heavy equipment or materials such as science can be. So I think there are lots of positives. I know that I need a lot more practice myself before I could build a world like this, but that is the general goal. So I'm going to exit now, and thank you for listening.